This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 31st day of January in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The Education and Labour Ministers today warned teachers against going on strike, contending that the conditions for industrial action have not been met, and any move to withdraw their services would be deemed unlawful. The Guyana Teachers Union has been lobbying thousands of teachers to take industrial action from Monday over the government's failure to address the proposed multi-year agreement. The strike is expected to begin on Monday and initially continue for a period of 2 weeks. But speaking to News Source outside the National Assembly today, Education Minister Priya Manikchand said the situation is unfortunate, as she accused the representatives of the Guyana Teachers Union of seeking to achieve narrow political gains. Minister Manikchand said, as advised by the Ministry of Labour, the conditions for conciliation and arbitration have not been met, and as such the strike would be illegal.
We are going to be advising teachers that this is not a legal strike, and that they should be careful with how they heed advice from people who are going down the road of making the union into a political entity.
On Tuesday, the GTU General Secretary Coretta MacDonald told News Source that since 2020, the union has been pushing for an across-the-board increase in salaries as part of the multi-year agreement, but to no avail. MacDonald said after an extensive period of trying to get the Education Ministry to the negotiation table, the union was informed by the Office of the President that the government team led by Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Gil Teixeira would facilitate discussions on the proposed agreement, which covers salary increases and non-salary issues. MacDonald said it was against that backdrop that the GTU wrote the Labour Ministry, seeking to first initiate conciliation and then arbitration. But the Minister of Labour, Joe Hamilton, told News Source that the union is attempting to jump critical steps that are outlined by the labour laws of the country.
They wrote seeking first conciliation. You have to have a situation where firstly there's a breakdown between two parties, and then you ask for conciliation. And that, when we responded to that, the Chief Labour Officer, the last letter they wrote seeking arbitration. I mean, how do you reach the arbitration and you haven't even had conciliation? The other point is the Chief Labour Officer cannot impose arbitration on parties. Arbitration, the two parties, they have to agree to go to arbitration.
Minister Hamilton said while the talks may have been delayed, there has been no breakdown in talks between the government and the union. He said on those grounds it would be illegal for the union to initiate any strike action.
Any strike that happens, it's illegal because GTU, they have failed to follow the procedures outlined by the law, not by Hamilton, by the labor law, what it says. So any strike.
Meanwhile, the Education Minister said even as the union was encouraging teachers to strike from next Monday, its representatives were on Wednesday locked in meetings with officials from her ministry. The meeting, she said, was set approximately 2 weeks ago to discuss a number of issues. Minister Manikchand said contrary to the narrative being peddled by the union, the Education Ministry and the government by extension have acted on many of the proposals put forward by the GTU.
Everybody has a right, perhaps even a duty to themselves and families to call for better salaries. But salaries are not the only way we can improve the lot of a particular working section. Teachers for the first time will not be going into their pockets to buy chalk and cardboard and other things for their classroom. We're giving each child, each teacher, $4,000 per child per term to cater for. So if a teacher has 30 children in our classroom, that's $120,000 that she'll have for 3 months, that will buy her chalk and so on, that we know doesn't come up to $120,000. That's money the teacher gets to keep in our pocket, because I know teachers were spending from their own pockets before. We are making sure promotions are done more frequently which allows teachers personal growth as well as better salaries. We are making sure teachers have opportunities for training for their masters and PhDs and postgrad.
The education minister is urging teachers to assess the situation and the improvements made within the school system over the past few years, and then determine whether there are real grounds for any strike action at this time. More news coming up in just a moment.
My lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
It's your time to win big. The Massey Store's Christmas jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey Stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey Stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
While the Environmental Protection Agency and the Hydromet Service here in Guyana are advising the public that air quality monitoring has determined a moderate concentration of Sahara dust, which is present in the atmosphere over several parts of the country, and it is expected to increase in the coming days. The increase in concentrations of particulate matter is due to the significant amounts of dust traveling across the northern tropical Atlantic to the Caribbean from the Sahara region, commonly known as the Sahara dust phenomenon or the Saharan air layer. For its part, the Environmental Protection Agency is advising persons to wear face masks and limit their time outdoor to avoid coming into contact with particles of the Sahara dust, which can lead to respiratory problems. Guyana is currently experiencing the impact of the Sahara dust, which has been noticeable in and around the city since late yesterday. The Environmental Protection Agency said it would like to advise that the particles in the Sahara dust could potentially cause a dry cough, runny nose, sore throat, itchy or watery eyes, and even sneezing. Children, the elderly, and persons with underlying respiratory or cardiovascular illnesses are most vulnerable. Members of the public, the agency advised, should limit their time outdoors. The EPA also said there is a current development of a visible haze around the east bank and east coast of the Marara regions. The agency's air quality sensors have detected a significantly high air quality index, which signifies poor air quality conditions, mainly due to a high concentration of particulate matter in the atmosphere due to the Sahara dust and high humidity. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony also spoke on the issue today.
It's a temporary situation, and but like with all pollutants in the air, I think one of the ways that we can protect ourselves, especially if you are prone to allergies, that you should use a face mask. That would be one of the safest ways. And if you're going to be using a face mask, it's probably more appropriate to use one of the N95s because it has 5 layers in it. The others might not be as effective.
The Environmental Protection Agency said it will advise when the situation has returned to a level of normalcy. Plumes of Saharan dust has blown from the African continent and traveled westward across the Atlantic, regularly reaching and often settling over the Americas. Well, the Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Barrett, today said with 3 floating production, storage and offloading vessels currently in operation in the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana, the government anticipates that there will be a total of 205 oil lifts this year. The minister made a disclosure as he responded to questions posed by opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson on petroleum management. It was noted, however, that while 205 oil lifts are anticipated, the country will only attract demurrage charges for 80 lifts. As such, $250 million has been set aside for those charges.
In 2020, we catered for 27 lifts. However, there was demurrage on 19 lifts. In 2021, we catered for 42 lifts. There were demurrage on 17 lifts. In 2022, we catered for 101 lifts. There were demurrage on 45 lifts. In 2023, we catered for 142 lifts. There were demurrage on 97 lifts. And in 2024, Mr. Speaker, there will be a significant increase of lifts. We are catering for 205 lifts, of which we anticipate that there may be demurrage on 80 lifts.
In 2023, Guyana received well over $1.3 billion in revenue from oil production in the Stabroek Block. In 2023, there were 142 lifts of crude oil from Guyana's 3 FPSOs, of which 17 were for the government of Guyana. Of those 17 oil lifts that Guyana received, 6 were from the Liza Destiny FPSO, while 11 came from the Liza Unity. It was based on those lifts that Guyana in 2023 received approximately $1.398 billion in profit oil. Minister Barrett also informed the Committee of Supply that with the 3rd floating production, storage and offloading vessel, the Prosperity Pumping Oil, the Natural Resources Ministry will be expending $6 million to conduct third-party inspections on the vessel. It was noted that these inspections are being conducted by 3 companies as part of the monitoring process.
If I may add, Mr. Speaker, it's not only the third-party inspector that is on board the FPSO, but also there is a full-time presence of the Guyana National Bureau of Standards on all 3 FPSOs, and at any offloading of crude into a tanker, the GRA, the Guyana Revenue Authority, must be present. Otherwise, no offloading can be done.
The Natural Resources Minister also told the Committee of Supply that the government is keenly monitoring the production of crude.
Twice the fun, twice the thrill. On your next trip with Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama and enjoy 2 vacations in 1 at no additional airfare. Because to live life at its fullest, first you have to stop. So next time you fly Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama at no additional airfare.
Stop the finest in the country, both ceramic and porcelain, tiles and chandeliers you'll see while you shop around stress-free. Well, train stop and warming halls make your shopping smooth and calm, providing you with quality to match your style that's so unique. Mima Decor.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation plans to increase its public relations and sensitization exercises in communities which border neighboring Venezuela, according to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd. During the consideration of budget estimates, Opposition Member of Parliament Amanzo Walton Desir questioned the allocations for the sensitization exercises that the government has planned for bordering regions in the face of threats from Venezuela, which continues to claim Guyana's territory.
This is to bring him up to speed with the controversy that Venezuela has over the validity of the 1899 award and giving them an historical perspective, helping them to understand clearly how we're positioned and what we're doing in terms of preserving and protecting our sovereignty and territorial integrity.
But MP Walton Desir queried the frequency of the exercise, since many persons in the hinterland regions are not aware of the public relations drive carried out by the government. In response, the Minister of Foreign Affairs said there had been a slight pause in the campaign due to flooding in some areas.
So what we have had is a slight pause due to flooding in some of the regions, as well as the COVID-19. But this year, we're going to ensure that we get back on track. At least we have a very active program plan for 2024.
In addition to the local sensitization exercise, the minister said there will also be similar exercises on an international level. Further, Opposition MP Walton Desir emphasized the need for the exercise to be consistent and sustained and not be done in an inconsistent manner. The foreign minister said his ministry will be partnering with other local groups and persons to ensure that Guyana's message and positions are made clear locally and internationally. Guyana's case against Venezuela seeking a final settlement of the border controversy remains before the International Court of Justice. The Ministry of Education has taken a decision to bar persons and organizations from entering schools to make donations or conduct activities without prior approval from the Education Ministry itself. In a circular issued to head teachers and education officials, the Chief Education Officer Saddam Hussein said the ministry has been inundated with complaints from citizens, as well as from some teachers and parents, about persons and organizations accessing schools and engaging with minor children. Hussein explained in his correspondence that in many instances, school children are being photographed, and those photographs are published as advertisements and promotions without relevant permission. He said with immediate effect, any person or organization who wishes to enter a school building or compound to engage learners in any discussion and or to conduct activities such as donations or the distribution of gifts must first obtain written approval from the Central Ministry of Education through the respective regional department of education. Further, Mr. Hussein communicated to the head teachers that there is a long-established protocol with regard to guest speakers, which state that adequate notice should be given and consent must be given before any guest speaker addresses students. It said that protocol is necessary to ensure the safety of minors and students while maintaining a secure, conducive environment and preventing disruption to the established order and discipline within the schools. During the recent graduation season, the Ministry of Education blocked some opposition MPs from addressing graduation ceremonies at various high schools. The Chief Education Officer said any head teacher who fails to observe the protocols will be recommended to the Teaching Service Commission or the School's Board Secretariat for disciplinary action based on the table of charges, offenses, and penalties. Last year, the Chief Education Officer roped in head teachers and regional education officials over school tours being undertaken at unusual places. The ministry said it had observed that educational tours are conducted at locations and places that do not contribute to the better student outcomes. That statement came just after a school visited the compound of businessman and philanthropist Azruddin Muhammad to see his expensive car collection. The same businessman recently visited a number of schools during the holiday season to share gifts with school children. The gift giveaway got senior education officials concerned, triggering the new decision, although Mr. Muhammad sought permission and guidance from the head teachers of those schools he visited. President of the Guyana Press Association and longtime journalist Nazima Ragaber is traveling to Pakistan as part of the Commonwealth Election Observer Mission for the upcoming national elections in the country. In a statement, the Commonwealth Secretariat said its observer team is being led by former Nigerian President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. The elections in Pakistan are set to take place on the 8th of February. The 13-member Commonwealth Observer Team is traveling to Pakistan at the invitation of the Election Commission of Pakistan through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the country. The team will remain in Pakistan until the completion of the elections. The Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland said she selected a team of multidisciplinary experts from across the Commonwealth to serve on the Observer Group. The Observer Group will offer an independent and comprehensive assessment of the electoral process in Pakistan. More than 120 million people are set to vote in the Pakistani elections.
Are you looking to start or advance your career with one or more of our world-class associate, bachelor, or master's degrees in 14 specializations from the comfort of your home worldwide? Then look no further than the University of Excellence Management in Business, UEMB. We are affordable, accessible, flexible, multi-world class, internationally accredited and locally recognized by NAC Guyana as a tertiary degree granting college. For more details on our no strings attached 60% scholarship and our payment plan, please call 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 681-3434 or 618-3434. Visit our administrative office in the Critchlow Labour College Front Building, Wolford Avenue, Georgetown, Guyana. Progressing to a degree is as easy as ABC with UEMB. Deal with the best and forget the rest.
Imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, the Brazilian Air Force said on Tuesday it fired warning shots at a plane and forced it to land for violating a no-fly ban over the Yanomami indigenous reservation, where illegal gold miners have been returning, despite federal efforts to keep them away. In a report, Reuters said 2 bursts of machine gun fire were fired during the interdiction on Monday to warn the pilot of the unregistered plane, a single-engine Cessna 182, to change course and land, according to a video released by the Air Force. Shortly after landing on an earthen airstrip, the pilot escaped into the rainforest, evading federal police, who had arrived to seize the plane, an Air Force statement said. It was not clear whether the plane was involved in illegal gold mining that has resumed in the vast protected reservation the size of Portugal, despite a government operation last year to remove some 20,000 illegal wildcat miners. Antigua's Health Minister, Sir Mulwin Joseph, says Antigua and Barbuda could become the first country in the Caribbean to offer a cancer prevention vaccine after it signed a memorandum of understanding with a hospital in China last week. Mulwin, who was part of the Antigua and Barbuda delegation that was headed by Prime Minister Gaston Brown, told reporters on his return that the vaccine could become a reality within 2 years. He said the Chinese approach to healthcare was very revealing, noting that they have equipment that gives them the capacity not only to detect diabetes but for cancer screening. And finally tonight, international news. Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi have been jailed for 14 years, the second sentence handed down to Pakistan's former prime minister in 2 days, according to the BBC. The couple were convicted of illegally profiting from state gifts just a week before a general election, in which he is barred from standing. Khan, who was ousted as PM by his opponents in 2022, is already serving a 3-year jail term for corruption. He has said the numerous cases against him are politically motivated. Wednesday's court case revolved around accusations over state gifts that he and his wife received while in office, while Tuesday's case, for which he was sentenced to 10 years for leaking classified state documents. It is thought the 2 sentences will run concurrently, although that has not been confirmed. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.